Hi friends, I just want to make a little briefing about some private things, and since I tell it here, it's no longer private. I see that there are some kind of manipulation of people not to tell about private stuff, that some of those who are in the game of manipulators to treat others bad and not listen to those who say there's something wrong going on. They try to manipulate people to not tell about the private things, and most of all, it seems to the purpose about it is to make people not want to listen to other people's problems and complaints. But I do it anyway. It's a part of how I hope I can do a little bit to change the world into something better. That is to tell about my situations with things that has been done and things I have experienced in my life, where I see something was totally wrong and could have been done much better in another way. But as I told in one of my latest video, I figured out at Christmas time that my son was going to have one more child, and it was my daughter who told it to my mom in a letter, and she also wrote a date where it was set to happen, and it was the 12th of February. So in the last couple of weeks I have been waiting and waiting and waiting with my phone in my pocket. Normally I do not run around with my phone, it stays at home. But in the last 14 days I have had it with me around in case my son would call me and say that I have become grandma one more time. But as you could expect, and what I had expected, there could be a big risk that he would not call me. And today it is 13 days over the date they have set for the birth, and nobody has called and said it has happened. And I know from when I was pregnant, there were some kind of practice that they would not allow a woman to go more than 14 days over time, because then there could be a big risk for the child and the mother. So then they would start the birth, or if it was not possible to start it, then they would make a C-section birth. So I wait one more day, and then tomorrow I may figure out somehow if I have become grandma one more time. But since I tell that here, it's also to show you and tell all of you how bad it can go when system separates parents and children in childhood and break the connection. It can end up that you both part lose each other rest of the life. But that was one thing. Another thing that has happened in my life the other day, with a coincidence, I came close near a person who I figured out has been looking inside my windows for some years ago, where I got a talk with the policeman who said he would tell him to stop that window spying, and I assumed it was stopped. But then here, some time ago, maybe a month ago, in the middle of the night or in the start of the night, suddenly I see this man go around at the road. It was not the head road, it was a little road near my house up to some other houses. And I was thinking, wow, has he not stopped that walking around in the night looking windows? He was not looking inside my windows, I didn't see that, but he was going around out there in the dark, a little suspicion. So I told one of the people I sometimes drink a cup of coffee with and have a talk about different kind of things. I told him, I have a suspicion this man has not stopped looking in my windows. And this guy I was drinking coffee with, he is really good in slander. He is worse than the worst woman slanderer. So I could have a suspicion that he has been going out and maybe gone to the person himself and said something about if he was still looking into windows maybe. But I came near to this person who has, I will call it, stalked me in secret. And then suddenly I can imagine he got an opportunity to give me an apology. So he did. And I have waited for that apology for a couple of years now, and I have been wondering, why have he not said I'm sorry? I'll never do it again. So I have been going around thinking, oh my God, here we have a person who everybody think is a good, nice, normal person, and then he has this weird way to act in secret in the dark. So I was thinking this man is sick somehow. But I told him that I take the apology. I thank you for asking. And I will forgive you. I said, I know sometimes we humans can do something we should not have done. But if you have stopped doing it, and if you do not do it again, then I will forgive you, I said to him. So I hope that is stopped and out of the world now. Then I have been into some other situation. There were a summer or two where I helped a person who had a couple of apartments he rented out to tourists. So when the tourists have left their apartment, somebody wants to pay for cleaning, and other times I was just going there to see if it looks okay for the next to come. And there came a time where I told him I don't want to do it anymore, I cannot help you anymore. But several times he had come through the years and asked me, can you do it, can you help me? And I've said, no, I cannot. And then he found another, and then she moved, and then he was in problems again with who can help me. And I have I have continued to say no. But then 2 times in the last couple of months, I have realized I have said yes to him. There were once where he was going on a travel, where he said, maybe there will be something, can I call you if there comes something where you can go out and look? And I ended up to say yes, even though I didn't want, and I had said no to him. But it ended up with that there came nothing, so he didn't call me. Then the other day I met him again, and we stood talk a little bit, and when the talk was finished, I realized that I was ended up in a situation where I have said yes, I can take this one time, but I do not want to help you in the summer to take care of it. And then when I came home and later went to bed, I was so tired and I was ready to fall asleep. And then suddenly this episode from early in the day came into my head. And again I got this feeling, no, you should not have said yes. I really got a bad feeling and suddenly I could not sleep. It was... Suddenly it felt so much inside me that I have gone against my own will somehow. And I ended up to lay and think about, why am I doing this? Why do I say no and end up to say yes? And it is a person that I have a lot of suspicion about what kind of person he actually is. And I don't think he is one of my kind, if I can say it that way. So I ended up to get rest in my peace in my mind. I have to tell him tomorrow that I cannot do it, because I realized why I suddenly ended up to say yes. This man, the times he had ended up to make me say yes, I remember he had, in the talk we have had about it, he had ended up to come very close to me and my body, not touching me, but very close to me. And now I have learned so much about the vibration of the body, and when you come a certain amount of meter, centimeter close to a person, you ended up to go into their space, and if you come close to the space, you can it's more easy to manipulate the person. And I realized that must have been how he had done it. He came so close to me, so somehow he invaded my space somehow. And you know, when you're close to a person, normally it's only those you also are close to in your feelings and you treat good, that you have very close to you. So maybe I get more sympathy for him when he come closer to me, so my good heart run off with me, so I end up to say, of course I should help him. I can do it, I have the time. And so I suddenly realized he came into my space and he stole my what can you say it, I ended up to do something that I actually had decided I wouldn't do. He crossed my border, or how can I say it? But well, now I have talked too much. I make one more. Have Have a good day.